favorite of the North Coast. This is Redwood News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for choosing Redwood News. I'm John Kennedy O'Connor. A historic announcement today as President Biden looks to help motorists struggling with soaring gas prices. The US will release a record amount of crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves. Our Chris Wynn explains what Biden hopes to accomplish and what it means for your wallet.
President Joe Biden making unprecedented moves to relieve pain at the pump.
Your family budgets to fill a tank, none of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war.
Releasing a record 1 million barrels a day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves in an effort to reduce gas prices and put pressure on oil companies to increase supply.
This is the time, not the time to sit on record profits. It's time to step up for the good of your country, the good of the world, to invest in immediate production that we need to respond to Vladimir Putin.
Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the U.S. price of regular gasoline spiked, hitting a record high average of $4.33 a gallon earlier this month.
I'll put 150 and I won't fill up.
Have everything just go sky high is ridiculous. We can't afford it.
Biden previously announced a coordinated release of oil in conjunction with other nations. While tapping deeper into the reserve is expected to have a limited effect on prices, the president is hoping to send a political message amid a difficult midterm election year.
It's time to deliver true long-term energy independence in America once and for all. And I'm going to continue to use every tool at my disposal to protect you from Putin's price hike.
Chris Wynn, Redwood News.
With President Biden's announcement to make the historic release from the strategic oil reserves and his urging of US oil companies to increase production or face potential tax penalties, we wanted to know how drivers here in Humboldt County felt about what the president had to say. One motorist we caught up with at the gas pumps here in Eureka summed up the feelings of many.
I don't think it's going to have much impact. It's a little, he needs to just let him go back to getting oil and gas out of our country and put us back energy free. And our prices will go down.
And President Biden admits he doesn't know how much gas prices will decline as a result of his action, but he suggests it may be anywhere from 10 cents to 35 cents a gallon. Humboldt County leaders are blaming supply chain issues for a significant delay in the delivery of a new fuel tank to the Murray Field Airport in Eureka. Officials say they anticipate it will be about 6 to 8 months before that new fuel tank arrives for the general aviation field. County supervisors recently approved replacing the existing fuel tank, which became corroded with decades of use and lack of maintenance. Pilots are concerned about having to wait months, so the county says it's exploring options to provide a temporary plain fuel supply until the new tank arrives. The city of Arcata is receiving an $18 million grant from the state of California to transform a hotel into housing for the homeless. Our Christina Bautista joins us now live with details about this major project. Christina.
Yes, John. The Red Roof Inn on Valley West Boulevard in Arcata will undergo the conversation. This project is one of 10 across the state, receiving a total of $136 million in Project Homekey funding this week. Those projects are aimed at providing nearly 500 housing units. The 79-unit hotel in Arcata will be purchased by Danco Communities. The developer will then work with the Redwood Community Action Agency to provide support services along with housing.
It's a really cool program because it doesn't just provide housing. It actually has a lot of wraparound services as well. So they provide, everything from mental health services to social services, job counseling. They support people to get, other services from other government entities if they're available.
Meanwhile, the city of Eureka is getting a separate $1 million federal grant to find housing and emergency shelter for the homeless. Those funds will also be used to expand outreach and health services throughout the Community Access Project. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Christina. Thousands of renters are relieved this evening that California's pandemic eviction ban will be extended. The California legislature earlier today voting to extend that moratorium, which was due to expire tomorrow. That extension is now headed for the governor's desk and his signature. The new deadline for tenants to become current on their rent will be July 1st, assuming they've applied for rental assistance with the state. A judge this afternoon cleared the way for a Hooper man to stand trial in what is Humboldt County's first manslaughter prosecution involving a drug dealer. 30-year-old James Williamson II is charged in the death of a woman to whom he allegedly sold a deadly dose of fentanyl. The judge's ruling that Williamson can be tried for involuntary manslaughter came after prosecutors played a recording of a police interview with Williamson. In it, he admits selling the drugs to the woman and says he, quote, did not mean to kill her. Second-hand smoke from marijuana can be much more dangerous than that from cigarettes. That's according to a new study out tonight in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Researchers at UC Berkeley measured the levels of fine particulate matter in the air in a room where a group of people smoked marijuana. They used a bong to smoke it. The researchers found the levels of particulate matter increased at least 100-fold in the area of the room where non-smokers would likely be sitting. That's about 4 times the levels produced by cigarettes and hookahs. They also discovered those pollutant levels remained 10 times higher than normal in the room, even 12 hours after the smoking had stopped. Now to the latest this evening on COVID-19 locally. Del Norte County is reporting virus data twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Here's a look at today's newly released numbers. The number of active cases as of today is at 25, with 9 new cases tallied since Tuesday. The cumulative case count is now at 6,214. There is 1 COVID hospitalisation, while the death count remains at 48. As for Humboldt County, a reminder that the health department is now only reporting data once a week, and that occurs on Wednesday, so there are no new numbers to share today. But in yesterday's report, the county recorded its 143rd COVID-19 death of the pandemic and its 21st death so far this year. The latest victim was a resident over the age of 80. The governor has named the former Yurok tribal chair to an open seat on the Del Norte County Board of Supervisors. 70-year-old Susan Maston will fill the vacancy for the 5th District Supervisor's seat that was recently created with the cancer death of Bob Berkowitz. Maston's appointment doesn't require state Senate confirmation. It only lasts through the upcoming election, where Maston is also a candidate on the ballot for the position. Some Eureka City school students are teaming up with the City of Eureka for a major art project. 21 students from Zane Middle School are in the process of painting a mural adjacent to the crosswalk on S Street, just outside the school gates. The art class students are working with a local muralist, Mirta Sela, on that design and will fill 1,000 square feet of space. The class project is an effort to allow students to see their artwork. Welcome back to Redwood News Live at 6. California Governor Gavin Newsom has a new plan to fight fire with fire. Late yesterday, the governor unveiled a $1.2 billion proposal intended to prevent major wildfires. The plan calls for doing targeted, controlled burns in more than 400,000 acres by 2025 to lessen the overall risk. California will work with federal and tribal authorities on the plan to better protect communities and the state's natural resources as well. The proposal includes funds for a training centre to instruct firefighters statewide on how to use controlled or prescribed fires effectively. A new report out tonight is painting a dire picture of California's waterways. As reporter Adrian Moore shows us, they have some of the highest pollution levels in the U.S.
A pollution problem is plaguing waterways up and down the state.
Basically anything you can picture: oil from your car, grass clippings, runoff from agriculture, mix into what we sometimes call this toxic cocktail of wastewater.
A new report from the nonprofit Environmental Integrity Project finds nearly half of rivers and streams across the U.S. are too polluted to meet quality standards for drinking, swimming, and fishing. In California, it ranks the state's water for drinking the worst in the country and 3rd worst when it comes to fishing.
Wastewater can have lots of nitrogen, and that can wreak havoc on coastal ecosystems. It can cause harmful algal blooms. Those cause fish kills, and they can also damage wetlands.
The cause, according to the report, is agricultural runoff and drought. Among the local trouble spots, the Lower American River. The red in these recent monitoring reports by the Central Valley Water Board show above average E. coli levels, which can be harmful to swimmers and pets. As for how to tackle this nationwide problem, The report recommends the EPA update its water assessment regulations and designate more money for staff and other resources.
Researchers do caution this report likely doesn't provide the full extent of the water pollution problem here in California. That's because of the manner in which the state monitors its waterways. Coming up, Chief Meteorologist Dan Romano will be here with your Weather Authority forecast next, after this break. Welcome to sports. Maxwell Glenn has the night off, but you're pleased to know we're kicking off with a story that I do know something about, because the United States men's soccer team is returning to the World Cup finals. That return comes despite a 2-0 loss to Costa Rica last night. It was the final night of qualifying, and despite the loss, the US secured a berth for the finals in Qatar. That's because they finished among the top 3 nations in North and Central America and the Caribbean. The slump continues for the Golden State Warriors as some fans wonder whether it's time to panic. Despite Jordan Poole scoring 38 points at home, the Warriors lost to the Phoenix Suns late last night. The Warriors fell to the Suns in a nail-biter 107-103, extending their losing streak to 4 games in a row. In addition, the Warriors have now lost 7 of their last 8 games. The San Jose Sharks also faced a team from Phoenix last night, and the Sharks couldn't find any luck either. The Sharks lost to the Arizona Coyotes 5-2. The Sharks hit the post 3 times while trying to score last night, and there was also a spectacular goalie save from the Coyotes to deny San Jose another scoring opportunity. The final touches for the Final Four are taking place as the teams start arriving in New Orleans. The Duke Blue Devils have arrived for their showdown with the North Carolina Tar Heels. That game will take place this Saturday at the Caesars Superdome. It's the first time the 2 North Carolina rival schools will meet in March Madness. Duke seeks their 6th national title and the final one under coach Mike Krzyzewski, known as Coach K, who plans to retire after this season. He is the coach with the most wins in college basketball history. Number 1, Kansas, and number 2, Villanova, will battle in the first game on Saturday. Villanova's team got a big send-off in Philadelphia before heading off to New Orleans. According to DraftKings, the Kansas Jayhawks are favoured to win that game over Villanova. The winners of the 2 Final Four games over the weekend will meet for the championship on Monday night. And that's our look at sports. More news and weather after this break. We'll be right back. That's because it's National Tater Day. Whether it's hash browns, French fries, chips, tots, pierogies or potato soup, you can post what you're eating with the social media hashtag National Tater Day. Some fun facts about the versatile vegetable. There are more than 4,000 varieties of potatoes in the world. There are more than 200 varieties here in the United States, and potatoes are the most consumed vegetable in the US, probably in the world, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. Do you have a favorite kind?
I'm not a fan at all, I'm afraid. I like French fries, but that's about it.
I'm surprised you said French fries and not chips, but that's shocking.
I'm sorry about that. Thanks for joining us at 6. Dan and I will be here at 11. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Good night.
See you, everybody.